Haps this week? Well, it's that time of the year again when young adults graduate and suddenly find themselves in the big, bad, real world. I know from fairly recent experience, it can be a daunting and humbling time in life. To help launch grads into this new season, I hit the CBN newsroom to talk to some hiring pros about the good and the bad of the interview process.
I've interviewed some really interesting people over the years, and I've had some really good interviews from some really smart individuals who are just talented and ready to take on the world, and then I've had some real duds.
Do you have any experience?
No, sir, I have no experience, but I'm a big fan of money. I like it.
Someone came in for an interview right out of school and dressed down in very casual clothing, including a screened t-shirt and flip-flops. And I told someone the other day, I said not only were they flip-flops, but she didn't even have her toenails painted.
You're wearing tuxedos to a job that requires you to clean bathrooms. Please leave this office. We're done with this interview.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
You need to make a rock-solid first impression when you are applying for a job.
A young woman who came here to interview for a producer position with a very popular show here at CBN News. When I asked this woman why she wanted to be a producer and what her goals were for the job, she told me, and I feel comfortable quoting her, she told me, quote, "All I want to do is get married and have babies."
Eigevald.
And on top of that, after the interview, I guess she felt so comfortable here that she ran around in her bare feet. And we all looked at her. Yeah.
You're fired.
We had this applicant who looked really great on paper. So we decided to call her up and have her come in for an interview. Well, we made the call and no answer, so we left a voicemail. A few days went by, she still hadn't called back. So about a week and a half after the initial call, we finally get a call back from this applicant, and she says that the reason she didn't call back sooner, and this is a quote, was because last week was my birthday week.
I'm just laughing. It's over.
That printed resume and cover letter is still very important. When you write that letter, make sure that you personalize it. I actually had received a resume at one point in another workplace where I was the hiring manager, and that person sent me a cover letter that had no salutation on it. Just started out with a body, blah, 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 blah. And so immediately, I literally threw that resume in the trash can.
And human resources lady.
Oh, you know, it's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
One thing that I love is when an applicant knows a lot about the organization that they're interviewing for and can ask really good, pertinent questions.
So you don't read runway?
No.
And before today, you had never heard of me?
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
I've had people call and ask at stations that I worked at in the past, who am I going to be talking to? And then they address that cover letter to that person. That's going the extra mile. Anyone can call a receptionist and say, who is the manager in that department? I'm applying for a job and I want to personalize a letter to that person.
Pam.
Pam.
With an M.
There's a D on the end.
There's no D. It's Pam.
It's like calm.
Here, it's P.
P-A-N-M.
Two M's. That was the confusion.
Truthfully, for me, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So the more they reach out to me, the better. When I get thank you notes, whether they're paper notes that are sent to me through the mail or their emails, that makes me remember a candidate.
Go the extra mile. Those things stand out.
Don't feel like you have to dress up.
I'm comfortable in a suit if it's okay.
Old school.
At least I'll stand out.
I don't think you'd need a suit to do that.
Amazing advice. I want to wrap up by throwing in a few tips of my own. Let's go back to that first impression. Work on a confident handshake. Make sure it's strong, but don't cut off their circulation. Look the person in the eye and say, "Nice to meet you," insert their name. Repeating their name will help you commit it to memory. For both the guys and the gals, I recommend investing in 2 all-star interview outfits that you feel ready to take on the world in. Ladies, cuts up, hems down. Have a trusty blazer like this one that you can throw on top of a dress or pair with dark pants, pumps, and a nice blouse if the office is more casual. Practice answering some standard interview questions and talking points so you never get caught looking like a deer in the headlights. And be honest. If you're interviewing at other places, it's okay to be candid and tell them. It does neither party any favors to lead someone on if you're not serious, and you might just end up with a better offer if they know they have a little competition. Most important, pray. My go-to interview prayer is that God opens the doors to the right opportunities I should take and slams the door shut to the places I don't belong. Welcome to the real world, recent graduates. Stay close to God, and it won't be near as daunting as you think.